Well, hello. Welcome to Weekend Hatha Flow. My name is Amy Sullivan and I'm a yoga teacher. I'm also a health and nutrition coach, and we're here to do a little yoga today. And I thought it would be really fun to get into focusing a little bit into our vertebrae, our spine. It is so critical and important for pretty much every action that we do within our physical bodies. So as we move through our different shapes, we're going to be flexing and contracting our spine a little bit. We're going to twist our spine, but just as we move, I encourage you to pay attention to the sensations, the things that are actually happening in your spine, and also how it connects into your limbs from there. So we're going to start in a seated position. I'm going to close the door while you find your easy seat. So if that's easy pose for you with your legs crossed, amazing. If easy pose is not easy for you this morning, no big deal. You can totally do, you can do a chair with your feet on the mat. I'm going to pop up my music so I can see what's going on over here too. So chair, feet on the floor or the mat, evenly grounded through your sit bones, and or, if it's comfortable for you, to be in a seated position like this with crossed legs. This is your pose, okay? So easy pose or chair, bring your hands to your knees or maybe to your lap, something feels comfortable. And then let's start by rooting down evenly through both your sit bones. And then feel the length rise up through your spine. As you ground down, lengthen up. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see the last part of this. Our tendency with our neck is for our chin to come forward. So just push your chin back. Feel the length occur through the back of your spine. And then bring it forward for a moment so you feel the difference. And then push it back. So we're not rounding, looking down. We're keeping the chin parallel to the mat, but finding that length through the back of your spine. So there's your seat, grounding down. And then maybe soften your gaze here, or maybe you even close your eyes if that feels comfortable. And take a moment to just center in, settle into you. Notice your body situated on the mat. Notice those points of contact. Notice your sit bones rooting down into the chair, into the earth. And then draw that attention focused inward. Find your tailbone, find the base of your spine, and just notice. And then start to travel your attention upward along your vertebrae, along your spine. Just noticing, experiencing any sensation that's happening. Give yourself permission to just be aware, traveling up through your spine, through your thoracic spine. That's where your chest is, but the back. And then up along to your neck. Beautiful. And just notice your breath now, breath awareness, that natural rise and fall of your belly and your chest. And just noticing and experiencing the breath as it is today. And then on your next inhale, with a little more intention and action, draw the breath all the way down to the base of your belly, almost as if it's drawing to your tailbone, to the ground. And then let it expand outward from there, letting your belly grow big, your chest expanding, filling with air. And then at the top, hold here. Open mouth, exhale, let it all go. Let's do that one more time. Nice deep inhale. Allow the breath to travel all the way down and then grow broad and wide from there, through your belly, through your chest, through your lungs. And then a nice open mouth exhale, sigh it out. Beautiful. If your eyes are closed, go ahead and flutter them open. And from here, bring your hands to your knees if you're in your chair or on the ground, either way. And then we're gonna do some big circles. So as you come round, let your heart come forward towards your legs. And then as you come through the back, carve a C out with your spine, really round your spine as you come around. So you're getting a deep dip into your hips, if you will. And use your hands as a guide to help this feel good in your hips and in your spine. We're just kind of awakening, warming up through the lower spine, and we're gonna move our way up towards your head. Beautiful. And then start to take it in the opposite direction. So slow things down, and again, using your hands to guide the experience, making it nice and easy breezy. Notice perhaps it feels a little different heading in one direction than the other. Just things to observe and experience in your body this morning. Gorgeous. And start to slow down gently, heading towards the center line. Once again, root down with your sit bones, rise up through your spine. And then inhale, lift your arms high up above your head, stretch. As you exhale, bring your hands down to your shoulders. Point your fingers like draping over the front of your shoulders, and then send your elbows out to the sides. Root down through your sit bones, draw your abs in towards your spine to support your spinal column, and then as you inhale, twist to the left. As you exhale, move over, twist to the right, ringing out along your spine. Inhale left, exhale right. And then as you find your rhythm here, change up your breath. Make it a little sniff in, sniff out. Sniff in left, sniff out right. And then speed it up when you find that rhythm. Keep bringing out along your spine, twisting right from your navel center. Can you keep your elbows lifted? Beautiful. We have 4, 3, back to center in 2, back to center in 1. Beautiful. Back to center. Release your hands on down. And then shrug your shoulders right up to your ears. Nice and tight, nice and scrunch them all the way up and drop them down. One more time. Bring them up, scrunch them up, nice and tight, 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 and release them down. Beautiful. And then give them a couple rolls. Feel good in the shoulders, or maybe move them side to side. Anything that feels good. Maybe you roll them back and forth. Say hello, shoulders, getting into your neck, your scapular muscles. That's those big triangular shapes on your, right behind your shoulder blades. And then find stillness in your shoulders. Gently drop your chin towards your chest. We'll get to the top part of your spine, your neck, and then start to roll your right cheek and your right ear over to the right side towards your right shoulder. And then continue to roll on back. Lift your face up towards the ceiling as you come to the back of your space. You create a little bit of lift and space between the back of your neck and the back of your head. Maybe do 2 or 3 in this direction. And then gently slow everything and head back in the opposite direction. So now heading to the left, rolling around. Beautiful. And when you've done a few in each direction, gently come back to center. Gorgeous job. And then we're gonna head onto our hands and knees for some cat-cows. So again, if you have sensitive knees, maybe being on your knees does not support you today. So you stay in that chair, or you find a chair, or you sit in that cross-legged position that's comfortable, and you're gonna do a spinal flex from there. So if you're on a chair, hands on your knees, pretend I'm sitting in a chair, and then as you inhale, draw your chest forward, squeeze your shoulder blades together. As you exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin, okay? So that's your movement back and forth. If you're on hands and knees, align your wrists underneath your shoulders, your knees under your hips and knees about hips width wide. That's what I'm trying to say. Spread those fingers nice and wide. Inhale, cow pose. Drop your belly down, lift your hips up, shine your heart forward, draw your chin parallel to the mat. Inhale. As you exhale, tuck your pelvis, tuck your chin, round, root your hands down to lift your spine up. And then find a little flow, a little rhythm. Inhale as you find your cow. Exhale as you find your cat. Keep rolling, keep moving smooth through that flow. Beautiful. And now, just as we did before with our hands on our shoulders, we're gonna add that sniff breath. So sniff in, cow. Sniff out, cat. Sniff in, cow. Sniff out, cat. And then add a little speed to it, find a flow. So you speed it up and find a rhythm. You never pause at the top or bottom, it's just a constant wave. Root down into your hands and your knees. Find that support for your spine to undulate, to flex and flow. You got 4 and 3. Come back to your neutral tabletop in 2 and 1. Gorgeous job, team. Neutral tabletop here. Feel that gentle sway in your back, but not a big sway in your back. Root down into your knees and draw your abs in towards your spine. Press into your hands. Nice and strong and steady. Inhale here, tuck your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up. And pause here. This is the first down dog of class. Maybe it's the first down dog of your entire day today, and that's great. So let's warm up into it. Bend one knee as you straighten the other leg. Maybe even shift your hips side to side to really get into your hamstrings. Continue to root down evenly through your palms. So send weight into the ball mound of your pointer finger and your thumb to protect your wrists. Let your energy and strength travel up through your arms. Rotate your armpits towards each other to broaden your shoulder blades. And then send your chest towards your thighs to lengthen your spine. And from here, friends, come into a nice still down dog. Your heels might be up, that's great. Your knees might be super bent to facilitate a long spine, also great. And then as you inhale, if you're not there already, come up to the balls of your feet. Bend your knees, look forward between your thumbs. Exhale, ragdoll pose. Take a few giant, big steps. Maybe use your hands to travel yourself to the top of your space and feet are hips width, and then bend your knees a lot and drop your chest onto your thighs. So see how I'm resting my torso on my legs here? That's gonna release through your spine. Start to shift your weight forward and then start to straighten through your legs and feel that release through your spine. So hamstrings is straight legs, spine release, bent knees, and a little bit of resting. So you choose what feels good. Grab onto opposite elbows, dangle, let your head hang loose, let gravity give you a little assist here. Beautiful. And then let your hands come down, root into your feet, tuck your tailbone under, and rise up to standing nice and slow and steady. And roll your shoulders back and down from here. Beautiful job. Standing at attention, Samasthiti. Bring your hands to heart center. And then I'm just gonna turn so you can see this angle. You can keep your feet hips width. That'll give you a little bit more stability in your stance. You could also bring your big toes to touch, sliver of space between your heels. All right, so then ground down with your feet to rise up through your spine. Drop your tailbone down to lift your heart. Knit your abs in. Inhale, mountain pose, root down, lift your fingertips high. Pause here and spin your pinky fingers forward. Then drop your shoulders down away from your ears. Inhale here. Exhale, side bend to the right. Drop your right arm down as you reach your left arm forward. So again, here's what it looks like from the frontal view. Zipper up your thighs to create length through both sides of your torso. Inhale, rise back up to your mountain. Let's do the other side. Exhale, side bend over to the left. Left arm descends down, right arm stretches up and over. And then if you're feeling this right shoulder drop forward, can you roll your right shoulder back to square your shoulders with your hips? Continue to zipper up your thighs. Beautiful job, Claire. Inhale, rise up. Mountain pose stretch. Exhale, little micro back bend. So cactus your elbows out to the side and then draw your face and your heart up. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then at the same time, drop your tailbone down. Open up through your front body a little more. Inhale, mountain pose, stretch up. Exhale, forward fold, hinge from your hips. Bend your knees a lot here as you travel down. Make this like easeful and feel good, not slamming into those hamstrings right out of the gate. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to your shins, and then press your hands into your legs to draw the crown of your head forward. Parallel your spine to the earth, roll your shoulders back and down. Inhale here. Exhale, high plank. Plant your palms and step on back. Find your high plank. And maybe today for you, that means that you come to your knees. So you can find that strong engagement through your spine, your back muscles lit up, and then root into your hands to turn on your chest and your abs. Roll your inner thighs towards the ceiling. Inhale, come 1 inch forward. Maybe you're still on your knees. Exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. Pin your elbows into your sides and point your elbows back as you come down. Gorgeous job. Untuck your toes here, friends. Zipper up your thighs. Walk your hands back in line with your lower ribs. And then from here, engage your right thigh and squeeze your right glute and lift your right foot up just a little bit. And then extend, feel as though someone's pulling your toes back behind you. Reach your toes back, back, back. Exhale, let that foot come on down. And just notice maybe the right leg now feels a little longer than the left leg. We're gonna even that out. So squeeze into your left glute, ignite your left thigh, point your left toes, and then extend by squeezing that glute, your left toes up. Then pull them back, back, back. Someone's pulling your toe back, lengthening you through your leg, and then drop it down, exhale. Now your legs are ready for cobra. Walk your hands next to your ribs, point your elbows high towards the ceiling. Inhale, cobra pose, roll your shoulders back. Just hug your abs into your spine, press your pelvis down into the earth. Zipper up your thighs. Even if your feet don't touch, feel that hugging in, rolling up of your inner thigh to the ceiling. Inhale here. Exhale, lower down. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Inhale, rise up, little low cobra. Send your tailbone towards your heels. Draw the crown of your head forward. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Exhale, lower down. 1 last time. Make this one your strongest one yet. Inhale, rise up. Roll your shoulders back and down. Hug and squeeze along your back line. Maybe you lift your feet up for this last one. A little locust leg action. Maybe you hover your hands. Inhale here. Exhale, come on down. Beautiful job. We rise up from here. Team, tuck your toes. Engage your abs in. Inhale, pull up to upward facing dog. Actually, untuck your toes. I changed my mind here. So upward facing dog. And pausing here, root evenly into the palms of your hands so you're not dumping into your wrists. Roll your shoulders back and down. Zipper up your thighs. Maybe your thighs rest on the mat for this. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, gently turn your head to the right, just so that this feels good. If this is a little bit intense on your lower back, you can ease down, find Sphinx pose, make an 11 with your hands, and then draw your heart forward, and then same action. Head to the right, little stretch through your neck. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, come back to center. And we'll do the other side. Inhale, stretch the crown of your head tall. Exhale, twist to the left. So again, maybe you're down in Sphinx, maybe you're up with your up dog arms. It should feel good in your lower back and your neck. Inhale. Exhale, come back to center. If you're not in down or up dog already, pull yourself up, press your feet into the earth to lift your thighs, gaze upward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, knit your abs up and in to lift your hips up high. Beautiful job. And pedal out your feet one more time here in this down dog. Take a moment to reset yourself, reset your center, reset your breath. Possibly you add your yogic breath here if you haven't engaged it already, your ujjayi breath to build some heat. Seal your lips together, breathe in and out evenly through your nose. And allow a little gentle constriction at the back of your throat as you breathe to build that heat, that focus. It's like a noise. On your next inhale, come to the balls of your feet, bend your knees and gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold, step or hop to the top of your space. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Press your hands into your shins, draw the crown of your head forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. So sink your hips down like you're about to sit down in a chair. Root into your heels. Turn on your glutes and your hamstrings as you press down. Zipper up your thighs. And then think about your spine here. So we're still in a neutral spine. You just happen to have your hips shifted back. So you should feel a little bit of a tuck in your curve in your lower spine. If you're seeing a big lift, draw your belly into your spine and drop your tailbone down a little bit. And then lift your heart. Rotate your armpits towards each other to lengthen your arms even more. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, booty back, head forward. Exhale, prayer twist to the right. Drop your left elbow down. Point your right elbow up. And so we're twisting once again right from the navel center, the belly button. Your lower elbow, your left elbow's reaching, finding, searching for the inside of your right leg. And then press your hands into each other to twist even further. Keep rooting into your heels. Maybe you open up your arms for this last one. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Untwist your body. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Shake those legs out. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. We're gonna head to the other side. So I'm gonna turn around. Inhale, find your chair pose. Sink those hips back, zipper up your thighs. Press into your heels, rise up through your fingertips, draw your abs in like a corset. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale as you draw your booty back and your head forward. Make that length through your torso. Exhale, twist to your left this time. Drop your right elbow down to find the inside or the outside of your left knee. And then once again, press your hands into one another to open up and twist to ring out along your spine. We're always trying in yoga class to move our spine in multiple different directions to make sure it gets stretch and strength and flexibility through all those options. Open up your arms. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Shake those legs out. Good job. So strong. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank to low plank vinyasa. Plant your palms, step back. You could be on your toes here or your knees. Draw your abs in, come an inch forward, make that space. Keep your elbows in as you lower halfway down this time. Inhale, come forward to your upward facing dog. Pull your heart forward, hands back. Exhale, downward facing dog. So those vinyasas, we'll just do a few today. You're welcome to keep on your toes from that plank pose. You can come to your knees. You can skip them entirely. You could go straight to downward facing dog and just pause here. Choose what suits your body best today. And from here, friends, root into your hands and your left foot. Inhale, 3-leg dog. Kick your right leg high. Pause here. Feel mountain pose in both your legs. Flex through both your feet. Engage both your quads, both your glutes. Inhale, draw your abs in. Exhale, low lunge. Step your right leg through and rock forward and back just for a moment to awaken into your hips just a little. You can use your hands to help guide that rhythm. And then drop your back knee down to the mat and untuck your toes. We're gonna come into a runner's lunge or a lizard pose here. So both hands are gonna come inside your front foot. And maybe if you're like me, you're gonna heel toe that foot forward just a little bit so that you have space to roll forward like past your left kneecap and drop your left hip down, your back hip down straight towards the mat. And then maybe if you have space, you also send your right knee out to the right. So you're opening all the way through this inner groin and your hip. If this doesn't feel okay on your back knee, you can adjust so that you're rolling forward. You could put a cushion underneath that back knee. And then find what feels good in your arms and your hips. So maybe you're on your hands with your fingers spread wide. Maybe your hands come up to a cushion or a block or something. Or perhaps you have a little more space this morning and it feels good to come down to your forearms. But you breathe in and feel into what feels good to you. And then can you soften and calm your breath, your mind? Maybe you wag your tail just a little bit to really get into that hip. Take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, rise back onto your hands if you haven't, and realign your right knee in line with your hips. So if you went out to the side, bring it back into the center, and then rise up to a low crescent moon. So come on up. I'm actually using them all to help steady me. So now I want my back knee under the back hip. So we're finding that straighter spine again. And then ground into the heel of your front foot. Wrap your outer hips in. So both glutes are gonna rise you up. Draw your thighs towards each other. Knit your abs in and then bring your arms up. Palms facing one another. Pinkies forward. Inhale here. Exhale, add that micro back bend. Cactus your arms out. Shine your heart up. Drop your tailbone down. Continue to hug your thighs inward. Inhale, stretch on up. From here, exhale, tuck your back toe. You're gonna exhale, crescent pose with airplane arms. So maybe you come through a low lunge, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and then draw your abs in, rise up, stay hinging forward for your hips. So you create a long line of energy from your back heel to the crown of your head. Kiss your shoulder blades together in the back, open your heart. Root into the heel of your front foot. Gorgeous job. Inhale, regular crescent. Rise up. So we just did this with our back knee down. So same concept. Wrap your outer hips in. Draw your right hip back, left hip forward. Press into the heel of your front foot, the ball of your back foot. Lift your heart up by dropping your tailbone down. Inhale here. Exhale, double lunge. Bring your hands to heart center and bend through your back knee, hovering it down. Drop your tailbone down even more. And so the tendency here too is to come and make it more of a calf stretch with your leg forward. So can you play around with maybe aligning your back heel over your ball of your foot, so you're getting a little toe stretch, and you almost get a little spring action happening. If that doesn't feel good in your knee, don't do it. That's what we're aiming towards, but it should feel good. Continue to hug your thighs towards each other. Arms come up when you're ready. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, find that double lunge. Lift your heart up, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Back bend with a double lunge. Inhale, come up to your crescent pose, straighten through your back leg. Exhale, double lunge with the back bend. Good job, one more time, let's flow. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, double lunge with the back bend. Slow and steady. We move on from here, team. Inhale, warrior two, windmill open, and pause here. So now we're opening through the hips, still bending into the front knee, but your back foot used to face forward, now it's rotating out a little bit, so you're getting a hip opener. Align your front knee over your ankle. Send a little more weight to the heel of your front foot, the outer knife edge of your back foot. And then what's happening with your spine? Are your shoulders over your hips? Gaze on down and look for that alignment. If you're tilting forward or back, can you draw your abs in and squeeze into your glutes to align your shoulders more over your hips? Beautiful job. Inhale here. Exhale, extended side angle. Hinge from your hips and now come forward. All permission to tilt forward now. Drop your right arm down, left arm up, and then twist open. So now you're wringing out, twisting open through your belly button. And you can use your your lower arm to press your inner thigh outward to open your hips even more. Continue to root evenly through your back leg and your front leg. Gorgeous job. Inhale, rise up to reverse triangle. So rise up, straighten through your front leg. Lift your front fingertips high. One more inhale as you send your back arm to your back hip and gently push your hips forward so they're parallel, and send a little more weight to the ball of your front foot. Beautiful. Inhale here. Exhale, bring your front arm down to your hip. Step your back foot in just a little bit, shorten your stance, but same thing. So front leg still straight, back leg still straight, hips, shoulders in alignment, and then bring your arms out. And gaze over your right fingertips. We're gonna head into a triangle pose here. Keep a micro bend in your front knee. Inhale. As you exhale, hinge forward from your hips. Stretch, 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 and then bring your right arm down. Lift your left fingertips high, and then twist from your belly button to open. Root more into the outer knife edge of your back foot. Feel your outer hip, your outer glute of your back leg fire up to open your hips more, and then kiss your shoulder blades together in the back to open your heart and twist your belly. Beautiful. Inhale, reverse, rise up. Exhale, vinyasa, high to low plank. Head to your downward facing dog. So if you're doing the vinyasa, plant your palms, point your toes forward to the top of your mat. Step your right leg back. Come slightly forward to make space. Lower halfway down. Inhale, pull forward with your heart, upward facing dog. Exhale, use your abs, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Beautiful job. I'm gonna spin myself around so I face you as we flow on the other side. Take a nice big inhale here. Nice big open mouth. Exhale, let something go, sigh it out. And then come back to your yogic breath, your ujjayi. Inhale in and out through your nose. Build that heat. Inhale your left leg high, 3-leg dog. Root down through your right toes, lift the quad off your knee. Flex through your left toes, your lifted toes, lift the quad off your knee on that side. Inhale. Exhale, low lunge. Step your left leg through and rock forward and back here to just open your body to the possibilities happening in your legs on this side. And then drop your back knee down, untuck your toes. And we're gonna come into a runner's lunge on this side. So both hands will come to the inside of your front foot. And if you need a little extra space, maybe you heel toe that front foot forward and out to the left. Drop your right hip straight down and then start to send your left knee to the left. And if this feels like it's too much through your wrists, maybe you find something to prop your forearms up on, but give you a little bit of space. So maybe that's blocks. Maybe that's a little piece of furniture. Continue to drop your back hip down, your front hip outward. And then come back to your breath. And then maybe you play around with letting your head dangle down. Feel the stretch and the softening through your shoulders, through your cervical spine, releasing any tension. The two places we love to hold tension, our shoulders and our hips. So if you soften through your neck, you can get into both sections right now. Take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, gently release, but come up to your hands if you weren't there. Move any props aside and find your low crescent moon, rise up. So if you walked your foot forward, see how my foot's way in front of my knee? I'm gonna walk it back in line. So I'm finding more of a 90-degree angle. Tuck your tailbone to lift your hip points, knit your abs in, stretch through your spine. Inhale. Exhale, find your little back bend, cactus your arms out, shine your heart up. Drop your tailbone to lift your heart higher. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Inhale, rise, back up. And we're gonna come to crescent pose with airplane arms. You're gonna lift your back knee. So you could tuck your back toes now, or you can come down through a low lunge if that feels more supportive. Then tuck your back toes and lift your back knee. Press into both feet. Inhale, rise up. Find your crescent pose. So again, from here, same thing we just did a moment ago, but we're gonna hug our outer hips in. Drop your tailbone down. Inhale here. Find that double lunge. Hands to heart center. Hover your back knee. And as you really drop the tailbone to lift your hip points and knit your abs in, maybe even feel a stretch through the quad, through the psoas of this back hip here. Maybe that feels good. Continue to hug your thighs towards each other, so strong. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, rise up to your crescent pose. Now you stretch your arms up. We're gonna find that little flow. Exhale, double lunge with your back bend. Shine your heart up as you drop your knee down in the back. Inhale, come up to crescent pose, stretch. Exhale, double lunge, back bend. Inhale, rise up. We'll float one more time. Exhale, find your back bend. Beautiful, inhale. Exhale, double lunge, hands to heart center. Inhale, warrior two, windmill open from here. And so find it on this side. It might look a little different than the other side, but feel in. You're looking to align your knee and the front over your ankle. And then open through your hips and a little more weight to the pinky side edge of both feet. Slightly drop your tailbone down as you hug your hips in and squeeze those glutes and lift your heart. Stretch your fingertips, gaze over your left fingertips here. Feel the strength of this warrior. Can you drop your shoulders down away from your ears? Release a little bit of that tension. Are your shoulders over your hips? Is your neck jutting forward or can it be over your shoulders? That's what I always do. Inhale here. Exhale, extended side angle. Hinge from your hips and stretch forward to find that space. Then come down with your left arm, up with your right arm, and open out with your heart. So same strong legs you just had, still warrior legs. Can you shift as much weight to the outer knife edge of your back foot as you're putting into the heel of your front foot? Good job, team. Inhale, rise up. Reverse triangle, straighten through your front thigh. Swap your arms and stretch through your left fingertips to open through your left side body, your ribs. Inhale here. Exhale, bring your hand down to your hips and step your back foot in, maybe a foot or so. Shortening your stance can make that triangle a little bit more accessible. Keep a little micro bend in your front knee. Your knee is still pointing forward on this side. And then stretch those fingertips out. Gaze over your left fingertips. Inhale here. Exhale, triangle. Hinge from your hips and reach forward first. So you're lengthening through your lower side body as well as your top. And then your hand comes down to find your thigh, to find your shin. And you open out. And maybe you have a chair that you can put your lower hand on to find a little bit more stability. We're focusing on a couple things. The rooting down of your feet, the opening out of your belly, and then the opening through your heart and your side body. So root evenly front to back foot, twist from your belly. Beautiful. Let's rise up, inhale, reverse. And then we'll take it home. Exhale, vinyasa, high plank to low plank, or straight to down dog if that is your preference today. I will go through the vinyasa so you can see it. Come forward, lower halfway down. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing up. Take a few breaths here. Just reset, recenter. Inhale and exhale. Come back to your yogic breath, your ujjayi. Breathe into you. Inhale your right leg high, three-leg dog. Exhale, low lunge. Step your right leg on through. Square your hips off, bend into your front knee, and inhale, rise up to crescent pose once again. So we've been here before. Gorgeous. Wrap your outer hips in, drop your tailbone, lift your heart. Inhale. Exhale, find your double lunge. Hover your back knee down. So once again, feel that action of rolling more to your toes so you kind of have a spring situation on your back leg, and then feel that strength rooting into the heel of your front foot and your right glute hamstring strong. Fire it up. We're gonna come forward into a one-leg mountain. So root into the heel of your front foot, draw your abs in, squeeze your thighs, inhale, rise up to one-leg mountain. Your left leg's gonna come all the way through. All right, so this is what it looks like from the front. Flex through your left toes. And then if you're like me and the hip came up really high, drop it down in line with your right hip. So you're finding even neutral hips, neutral spine. Good job. From here, keep wrapping your outer right hip in, super strong. Inhale. Exhale, warrior three or airplane pose. Kick your left leg back. Continue to stamp into your right leg. And then perhaps your hands come forward. I don't have enough space to frame your head. That's warrior three. Or maybe your hands are at heart center today, or they're behind you, airplane. Can you find mountain pose in both your legs? Draw your abs in straight up towards your spine and then lift your heart by squeezing your shoulder blades together. Inhale. Beautiful job. Exhale. Find your crescent pose with airplane arms, arms back. So step your left leg back, hinge from your hips, draw your abs in. Beautiful. We're gonna open up to a star pose. Press into both your feet, inhale, open star. So I'm gonna obviously turn around. Toes out, heels in. Stretch, spread your fingers out nice and wide. Send a little more weight to the balls of both your feet and then feel that lifting all the way up through your legs, your spine. Inhale here, exhale, horse. Sink your hips down low, send your knees in line with your toes. And then hands to your heart center. Drop your tailbone down to lift your heart. And feel your glutes ignite on the outside, your outer glutes, to send your knees out a little wider. Beautiful job. From here, friends, we're gonna add a little juicy twist. So bring your hands to your thighs so you can take a little bit of that pressure off of your legs, shift your booty back and your head forward, and then use your hands to press in and lengthen through your spine. So side view looks like so. And by doing this, it might take a little bit of that effort out of your legs. So this is more, we're getting into more of stretch. Inhale, pull forward with your head, back with your booty. Exhale, twist to your right. So twist right from your belly button, bend into your left elbow and use your left hand to press into your inner thigh. Feel that little ring out along your spine. Continue to add a little more weight to your heels. And then inhale, come back to your center line. And we'll twist the other way. Exhale, twist to your left. This time bend into your back elbow once again and use that hand to help wring you out a little bit deeper. Continue to send your booty back, weight to the heels. Inhale back to your center. Exhale, hands to hips. Any horse pose. Inhale, find your star. Gorgeous. Exhale, find your warrior two. Wait, warrior two this way. Right knee in front. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take it through a vinyasa. Point both toes to the top of your mat. Plant your palms. Step your right leg back. Come all the way through your vinyasa or head straight to down dog. Whatever serves you best today. Take a big inhale and a big exhale. Inhale, come to the balls of your feet. Bend your knees, gaze forward between your thumbs. At the end of your exhale, forward fold. Step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Beautiful job. Inhale, rise on up. I'm gonna play with a fun little, do we have time for it? Maybe we don't have time for it. We'll do a quick tree. So bring your hands or feet centered, hips width or together. Root down into your left leg. Make your right leg starts to become weightless. Keep your hips even side to side. Draw your abs in. And then maybe you just rotate your right knee outward a little bit. Keep your foot on the mat. Or maybe you play around with foot on your calf or foot on your thigh. Little tree pose, hands to heart center. Draw your abs in, release, root down strongly with your left leg. Wrap that outer left hip in for strength and stability. That's your tree trunk. Inhale as you row your arms up for the last breath. And exhale, bring it down to center. Shake those legs out. Gorgeous job. We're gonna go straight into the other side. So now make your right leg strong and steady. Feel that glute, hip wrap in. Your left heel becomes weightless, and maybe you stay right here and send your knee out to the side or to your shin or to your thigh. Try not to put your foot directly on your knee joint. Knee joints tend to not appreciate that over time, so go above or below. And I like to just kind of nestle my heel into my thigh. That helps it support without slipping. And then grow your tree for the last breath or two. And gently release, or more sloppily release if you're like me. And then head up to the top of your mat. If you're not there already, we will do the other side. Gorgeous. Inhale here, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step it back to downward facing dog. Just step right on back this time. Lift your hips high, root into your hands, draw your heart towards your thighs. Inhale, three-leg dog on the left. Kick your left leg high, draw your abs into your spine for strength. Flex through your left lifted toes. Inhale, exhale, low lunge. Step your left leg through this time. Bend into your front knee. Inhale, rise up to your crescent pose. Stretch up, knit your abs in, hug your outer hips in, find length through your torso. Inhale, exhale, find your double lunge. Hover your back knee down, hands to heart center. So we're gonna come forward into our one leg mountain. So feel that spring on the back. Heel over your toes as best you can, and then really strong root into the heel of your front foot. Turn on your left glute and thigh. From here, friends, inhale, one leg mountain. Spring forward and lift your right knee high. Flex through your right toes. And if you need to drop that foot down to adjust and recenter, great. Wrap your outer left hip in. Stamp into your left foot to raise your leg high, so strong. Heading into another balance pose. Inhale here. Exhale, warrior three. Draw your heart forward, kick your right leg back, hug your abs up and in. And unless you have a bookshelf in front of your face, stretch your fingers forward to frame your head. Or maybe hands to heart center for this, Anjali Mudra. Or maybe hands behind you, airplane. Continue to knit your abs in, lift your heart high. Inhale here. Exhale, crescent pose with airplane arms. Just step your right leg back. Beautiful job. Inhale, windmill open to your star. One more time. Stretch into you, inhale. And exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Walk your feet in just a little bit. Point your toes now forward. So you're stretching, facing towards the long edge of your mat. And we're gonna do a little forward fold here, Prasarita, wide-legged forward fold. So again, option to bend your knees as much as you want. The more you bend, the more it becomes about your back and less about your knees and your hamstrings, okay? So it should feel good. And from here, option to interlace your hands behind you. So maybe you have this action going on, interlace your hands or grab onto opposite wrists or elbows, all right? Feel what feels good in your shoulders, or maybe hands stay to your hips today. Toes pointing forward, inhale, look up, lift your heart. Exhale, forward fold, hinge from your hips, draw your abs in, press into your feet, feel your glutes and your thighs turn on to lower you down. Again, bend your knees as much as you need to here to facilitate an easy transition. And then let gravity take over once it feels good in your legs. And again, maybe that means just like at the beginning when I did ragdoll, you let your chest rest on your thighs. Maybe you do that again here, and then let that extension come of your arms behind you, if that feels good. And at any time, you can release your hands down towards the mat or to a sofa or a block or a prop. And you can play around here for a few more breaths. You can rock your hips side to side and bend and straighten your knees. Walk your hands around. Maybe just nod your head yes and no. At the very least, keep a slight bend in your knees, if not a big bend, to protect your knee joints. And we're gonna rise back up, friends. So if your hands are not already down below your shoulders, walk them so they're in line underneath your shoulders. Inhale, halfway lift. Come onto your fingertips, draw the crown of your head forward, root into your feet. Engage your abs in. Inhale, rise up, back to your star, slow and steady. Hinging from your hips, once again, stretch. Gorgeous. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two, bend into your left knee, gaze over your left fingertips. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, make your way to downward facing dog. Maybe you go through one last vinyasa. Maybe that doesn't serve you and you head straight to downward facing dog. Take one big inhale and a nice big exhale as you come on down to your tabletop. Beautiful. From here, little heart opener. So from the side, you're gonna try to make a 90-degree angle from your ankle to your knee to your hip, okay? And then tug and find that length through your spine. Your knees could be hips width here. So you're finding that strong, stable base. So those are your legs. Hands to your back pockets of your jeans. Point your fingers down. Point your elbows back and roll your shoulders down. Start to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Press your shins into the mat. Use your hands to press your hips forward. And then look up, lift your heart. Camel pose. Look your face, bring your face up towards the sky. And keep pressing your hands into your lower spine to bring your hips forward. Knit your abs in. And maybe you stay right here, continuing to work on pointing your elbows back, your hips forward. Or maybe you have space today to bring your hands to your heels and then recommit to that opening for your heart. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, gently rise up. Use your abs and your legs to guide you safe and steady back up. Gorgeous job. And then gently shift your hips over your heels, find a modified child's pose, and maybe your knees are a little closer together. And then let your body round over your thighs. Let your forehead come down, and then you either extend your fingers long in front, or maybe your fingers come back next to your feet, and you really round through your upper spine to counterbalance that big heart opener you just did. Take a nice deep inhale in here. And a nice big exhale. Use your hands below your shoulders to press your torso up. And then we're gonna come into a little hip stretch, a figure four. And I give you the option to use a prop, a wall if you have one nearby, or if you have a sofa or a chair, something that you can rest a foot against, okay? Or you can take regular supine figure four. So supine figure four, come on, is lying down, and then you cross your ankle over your knee. So this is supine figure four, and you can grab onto the back of your thigh. So this is option A. If you wanna try it against a wall, you're gonna bring your booty as close to the wall, coming perpendicular to the wall first. Then hands behind you, start to guide yourself down onto your back, and then rotate. So now your booty's facing towards the wall, legs up. From here, you're gonna come into your figure four. And you can do this with a couch instead of your wall, okay? And then cross your right ankle over your left. Your left leg is still long here. And you can use your hands to send your right knee, the cross knee against the wall, flex through your right foot to protect this knee joint over here. And then what you can do to enhance this stretch is to slowly let your left ankle move its way down the wall. And you'll just notice pretty quickly where your edge is, where your stopping point is. And I like this alternative as well as lying down on the mat, but this one allows me to get a little deeper into the hip with less effort. Like my arms really don't have to be involved, versus when you're just lying on your back, your arms are usually grabbing on and doing something. So this, for me, gives a little bit more ease through the shoulder and the neckline because it doesn't have to be participating. And again, this could be a sofa and your foot is on like the seat part of the sofa or the back of the sofa or the side, whatever feels good. Take a nice deep inhale in here and a big exhale. Maybe you release a little more tension in your hips. And then if your foot is up the wall, gently guide the left ankle, the straightened leg back up so you can release. And if you're lying supine figure 4 on the mat, same thing, release and shake those legs out or hug your knees into your chest. We're gonna do the other side. So cross your left ankle over your right knee, wherever you have started. And then if you're on the wall, start to drag your heel downward, down the wall, find that edge. If you are lying flat on your mat, perhaps you grab onto the back of your right thigh and pull your knees towards your face. Flex through your left toes to protect your knee joint, if it's feeling a little tight today especially. And then just notice that perhaps there's a difference this morning from one side to the other. Notice what your spine is doing. Feel your spine resting on the mat. And you can gently rotate side to side if that feels good, only if that feels supportive. It's a little tight if you're on the wall. So be extra mindful. Taking an inhale here. And then an exhale and gently slide that right heel back up the wall. If you have it on the wall, uncross your legs. Shake those legs out if you're up the wall, or hug your knees into your chest if you're in a regular supine. And then to get out of this, draw your abs in and slowly walk your feet down the wall as you come over to your side, and then use your hands to press yourself up. Just a fun alternative. And now if you have a couch cushion, for our last little twist here, you're gonna come lying on your back if you're not there already. If you have a little couch cushion or something, option to bring it between your thighs just for our twist. And come onto your back. Gently shift your hips a little to the left, and then drop your knees to the right, right? And if you have that cushion between your knees and that feels good, great. And then extend your left fingertips out behind you to the left. Maybe you look back behind you, complete the twist from the base of your spine to the top. So we are twisting, but the point of this supine twist is really to help neutralize the spine. So send a little more effort into focusing on having both shoulders find the mat, and less effort into having your knees hit the ground on the other side. Take an inhale here. And then gently exhale and come back to center. Bring your face up first, engage your abs. Move your knees back towards the ceiling, and then take your hips and shift them gently to the right. Maybe that pillow's still there, and then continue the twist by dropping your knees to the left and engage your right fingertips out to the right. Work towards getting your right shoulder back down to the earth. Maybe you look back over your right fingertips. If you have not done so already, now's a great time to disengage your yogic breath, your ujjayi. And shift your breathing now to longer, slower, deeper inhales and exhales. Beautiful job. Take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, come back to center. Gently bring your nose to the ceiling first. Engage your abs. And move your hips back to the center line so it feels as though your hips and shoulders and neck are all in alignment. If you have that pillow going on, you can move it out of the way. And then hug both knees into your chest here. Make a little ball with your body. Give yourself a nice little squeeze. And from here, come into a happy baby. So flex both feet and then send your feet towards the ceiling. And your hands are gonna find what they can find. So maybe if things are a little bit tighter today, you grab onto the back of your thighs, and then you use your hands to pull your knees out to the sides, feet still facing up. Or if you have the space this morning, maybe your hands find your ankles or the outsides of your feet or your big toe. In same action, hands pull your knees along the sides of your body, or in that direction anyway. And the result of that is that your spine has a moment to flatten with a little pressure against the mat. And that might feel good, and it might feel even better If you rock side to side, so something to experiment with. If you want to try it, rock side to side here gently. Maybe you straighten one or both your legs and just play around with it. Feel what feels good. And then gently come back to center. If you're rocking, release your hands, hug your knees into your chest. Make a little ball with your body. And draw your nose up and give yourself a nice big hug and a squeeze. And hug everything in and squeeze and thank yourself for getting up and coming to yoga today and giving yourself a whole hour dedicated just to you because you are so worth it. Take one more inhale and squeeze everything. Fingers, eyes, ears, nose, toes. Exhale, rest, Shavasana. Release on down. Let your legs just kind of splay out. Let your shoulders wiggle and melt down into the mat. Anything that feels good to you. Let any thoughts drift by like a boat on the sea. Enjoy a few minutes of rest in your Shavasana. Friends, you are welcome to stay just as you are. If you would like a little more time to rest, by all means, give that to yourself. If you're ready to head into the next part of your day, begin to draw in a little more awareness. Feel yourself present here on your mat in this space. And start to draw in a deeper breath. And introduce any movements that feel supportive and good. Maybe you add a little wiggle to your fingers and your toes. And gently move your head from side to side to awaken through your neck. Rotate your wrists and ankles. And then letting that go, stretch your hands above your head. Find a nice good morning stretch into the amazingness that is you. And then letting that go, bend your knees and gently roll to your side of choice. Use your lower arm to support your head and take a moment to just breathe in this sense of rejuvenation, of rebirth after your practice, back into the rest of your day with a little more center, a little more calm perhaps. What would you like to take with you from this practice off the mat? Take that with you as you gently rise up to sitting, finding that comfortable seat once again. Maybe your eyes stay closed, hands to your heart, Anjali Mudra. It's always my goal to leave you just a little better than I found you. I hope that happened for you this morning or today, whenever you are watching this. The teacher in me honors and appreciates the teacher in each of you. And I hope you have a blessed and wonderful rest of your day. Hands to third eye. Namaste. Thank you all so very much.